Imagine you had a creative content agent that had access to every single image model and video model on the planet, trains itself on elite prompting mechanics and mechanisms, and generates content for you while you sleep. Now, that's completely possible with Claude Code, Anti-Gravity, or Codex. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can set it up for yourself. So image models have got increasingly good at generating realistic images now, especially with the release of Nano Banana 2. Video models, we've got loads of video models, but the leading ones being VO3, Sora 2, Kling, Seedance, WAN, you name it. There's loads of them out there. Now, there's so many tools, but using them can be complex and very time consuming. You have to prompt each one differently to get the best results. Now, tools like NAN or Weavy, they make this a lot simpler and they actually automate the process, but they have problems in itself. Now, Weavy on the side, these workflows can look very complex, bit like a puzzle, to be honest with you. And then NAN, as we all know, time consuming to set up. You're having to, or when you're running into errors, you're having to go in, change stuff, variables dropped in, and all that complex stuff that just takes a lot of time. But now agentic platforms like Codex, Claude Code, Anti-Gravity, they're solving all of these issues. All you need to do now is just speak to Claude Code or Anti-Gravity and it does it for you. Now, the benefits of an agentic content system, which is what we're going to be going over today, is everything lives inside of Claude Code. So prompting techniques live in the agent's memory. Request multiple pieces in one go, so you can send multiple requests instead of one by one. And if you need a different model, you can just ask for a different model. It's that simple. What we're going to be using to build this agentic system or agentic content system today is Claude Code, and then also Airtable, where we're going to be storing all of the content. So I'll show you what that looks like now. Claude Code being this window here. If you don't know much about Claude Code, then check out some other videos on my channel where I explain how to set it up. But essentially, all of our folders are here, and then we have a chat window. Now, all we need to do to actually generate a bit of content is ask it to generate us a bit of content, which I'll show you an example of in a second. But first of all, let me just show you the Airtable database where everything's going to live. So here's the Airtable database. You can download this from my free school community in the description below. So you have that template here. So if you want to follow along and get this system set up for yourself, you can do that easily. Now, we have our add IDs, our reference images, image prompts, image models. So you can see I've been testing with Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2. Our image status, generated images. So when we ask our agentic content system to generate us an image, it will generate us 2, purely because the more, the better. Because as you know, sometimes image models, as good as they are, some of them can have issues, so it's best to just get as much as possible. Then what we can do is we can actually get Claude Code to generate us a video from our images that we've just got it to generate. So under image model, you can see all of these different image models that I've trained the agentic agent on. And when our video has been created, it will pop up here. So let me show you just an example.
This powder completely transformed my morning routine and gave me sustained.
So the main thing that I've been using this for currently is UGC, but the possibilities are endless here. You can see another test here, which is just a battle scene. And all of this has just been generated by voice command via Claude Code. Now, there's a few steps to get this set up. First of all, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to create some content with this system. So I'm inside of the creative content engine now, inside of Claude Code, and all we're going to do to get started using this is we're going to add a few reference images. So let's add Jane here, and then we'll also add Kai Health Powder, and then we'll just say generate us a UGC video, or not a video, we'll start with an image. I'm just going to hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and update Airtable for us. Before it starts actually generating this, how I've got this set up with an MD file, it's going to tell us how much the cost, or how much it will cost to generate these images, which is a really nice feature. So you can see it's going to cost us 8 cents to generate these 2 UGC style variations of Jane holding Kai Health Powder in the gym. And then we'll just say yes. And then the agent's going to get to work. It's going to call those different APIs that we've set up, being Nano Banana 2 in this case. And it's going to generate that and update our Airtable database once it's done. So as our system is generating this, you can see that it's going to explain every step that it's doing along the way. So it's created a record inside of our Airtable database, which you can see here. It's added the image prompt. It's now adding the reference images all automatically here. Now, I just want to explain this system and what's going on in a little bit more detail. Now, all these image prompts here that you can see, I've actually trained my agentic content agent to prompt like this. Now, that's why these new agentic workflows are just so powerful, because you can train it on previous prompting guides that you've done. So literally all I would have done here, I would have gone to N8N, I would have found my UGC content machine that I previously shared on the channel, and I just copy and pasted that JSON folder straight into Claude Code. Now you can see in API docs, we have the different API docs, the guides, so AI influencer prompting, everything is in here, and it's in Claude Code's memory now, so it will reference that whenever I ask it to. In this case, to generate a AI influencer holding a certain product, it will reference that. But if I wanted to generate a completely different type of content, for example, this battle scene video here that I was playing around with, it can do that as well. It's extremely powerful. You can add in anything you want, and I'll show you how to do that as well later. But let's just wait for this image to generate. So our images have now been generated. You can see our 2 reference images have popped up, and add 26, the image prompt. So like I mentioned previously, I actually trained Claude on prompting best practices for UGC style content. That's why the prompt looks like this and is extremely detailed, but I'll show you how to do that as well. Really simple. Then we have our 2 generated images. Now they look pretty good in my opinion for a first run of that. Now again, like I mentioned, I think it's best to have it generate you 2 images just so you can get an idea, and a bit of a guide on where to go from there. If you generate 1 image, you might not like it, you might need to rerun, but generating 2 images saves that, and you can add in as many different generated images as you want. It's completely up to you. I've just got it set at 2, but that's just one example of content that the system can generate. But what we can do as well, we can actually generate product shots. So we have the same product here, but it's actually generating us different product shots as well, which is really cool. But again, this comes with how much you add to your agent is completely up to you. But the more you add, the more variety of posts you can do. So I've got this system to set up to generate me a variety of content, but you can set it up in whichever way you want. But now let's move on to actually turning this into a video. Now, I've got a few different video models set up here, but let's just go back to Claude and speak to it and ask it to generate us an advert. Generate me a UGC style advert using ID 26 with the generated image 2. Turn that into a UGC ad for Kai Health Powder, and we'll use VO 3.1 for this video. We're just going to hit enter, and Claude's going to get to work there. So you can see it's just said I'll create a UGC style video ad for Kai Health Powder. Boom, it's going to go to work, and then what it will do is it will update Airtable automatically with the video prompt it used. Pick the image model here, update the video status to pending, and then once the video has been generated, it will update with the generated video, change the video status to generated. But yeah, that's essentially it. Like, this is the power of agentic automation now. Natural language, you can just speak to Claude, set up these systems without the hassle and back and forth spending hours building stuff inside of NAN. Now, NAN is still extremely useful, and I still use it on a daily basis. So it's actually saying now, perfect, let me create a UGC style video prompt and show you the cost estimate. So this is the prompt that it's going to use. It will update Airtable with it. We've got a negative prompt in there as well, and then it's told us the cost estimate for this video. Now I've gone ahead and said, yes, generate this. So we'll come back once that's generated and check it out. So while the video is pending, I just wanted to show you that this has been automatically updated. So the video prompt that we saw inside of Claude, the video model being VO 3.1, and then the video status pending. Cool, so our video has just been completed. The status has changed to generated. So let's check it out.
I've been using KAI Health Powder for 3 weeks now, and honestly, the difference in my energy levels is incredible.
So just like that, you can see how powerful this agentic content system is. Just with a few voice commands, we've generated some images out of our 2 reference images, and then also a UGC style video ad for our product using either of these images as well. So super powerful stuff and really easy to set up. So now you've seen how the system generates content really easily and at a really high quality standard. I'm going to show you how you can train your agent, your creative content agent, your agentic agent on these new models, image and video models really easily. Now, it's super simple to do. So platforms like KeyAI, FowAI, or WaveSpeed being API aggregators, meaning websites that host tons, if not all, of these video and image models. And we can basically just copy and paste the API docs from these pages into our AI content system, and Claude will read those docs and actually keep a memory of those API documentation. So let me jump back over to Key, because that's what I'll use for this example. So all we'd need to do, for example, is just click on Nano Banana 2. And traditionally, if we were building an automation within NAN, we'd have to come into the API docs, read through these, figure out what to include in our HTTP request, manually add in our aspect ratio, our resolution, our output format, and actually build that request ourselves. But all we need to do now is just copy the page, come back to our Claude agent, paste in our Nano Banana 2 docs that we've just copy and pasted from Key, and just talk to Claude. So I've just dropped you in the Nano Banana 2 API documentations from Key AI. I want you to read this, make a note of it, because I want you to use this as our default image generation tool. Run that, and Claude will make a memory of this documentation. So you don't have to ever go back to it or worry about different request types. So you don't have to worry about asking it if it can do this thing, because it will already know. Like, you can come to here and say, can you generate me a 16:9 video or a 9:16 video, like we just did with that UGC example. The possibilities are endless with this. Now I want to show you one other thing as well. So this is a UGC production pipeline workflow that I built in NAN, and I've shared on this channel before. Now, I want to train my new agentic workflow on the prompts that I used within this workflow, and basically get all the prompts from these each individual AI agents, look at all the requests that I've done, each individual prompt, and I want it to learn and use that same prompting style that I used in this system when it's generating UGC content for me. Now, all I would do is really, really simple. You just highlight your NAN workflow, you hit copy, jump back to Claude, hit paste. Now we'll wait for it to paste because it's going to be quite a large file. It's going to take a little while, but it shouldn't be too long. So it's just pasted in 6,816 lines. And then all I'm going to say is I've just copy and pasted an NAN UGC production workflow. I want you to read through the docs, take note of all the prompts that I've used, and use that when I ask you to generate UGC content. Hit enter. Now Claude is going to read through that whole JSON file and store that in its memory. So as you can see, like, this is just really, really, really powerful. It still blows my mind when I'm actually using this, when I'm using Claude Code and actually building out these systems like this. But that's the idea here. Now you can copy and paste in anything you want and train Claude on anything you want. Different prompting techniques, different NAN workflows. The possibilities are endless here. The main thing being, go to Key AI, like I just did, go through the image and video models that you want to use inside of your Claude creative content engine, and just copy and paste the API docs in from each one, just like I did. Now you can go a step further. So inside of FAL AI, they allow you to access a tool called FFmpeg. Now, I've used FFmpeg before when stitching different videos together. Now, you can do exactly this. So you can copy and paste this whole page, which allows you to stitch different clips together. And you can copy and paste that into Claude Code, and you can start generating longer form videos instead of just the 8-second clips. So the possibilities are endless here. So now I've showed you all this, you're probably wondering, how do I actually set this up for myself? Now we're going to be using the CRT framework. Now, Claude being our AI agent, the brain that orchestrates everything. Then our references, so your inputs, images and prompts, best practices, and your tools, which are your workflows, the connections to your models. Now, if you don't understand anything of this, it's completely fine. All it is the layout of our folder inside of Claude Code. So you can see here, we have our .claude folder, our references folder, where all of our API docs, our guides, our input reference images are there. And we have our tools folder, so you can see our Airtable tool, our image generation tool, our image kit tool, video generation tool via key. So yeah, that's what the CRT framework is. It's just a layout of the folder. It's a claude.md file that you can drag and drop into Claude when starting out your project. You can tell Claude to run and lay out the folder as presented in your MD file, and it will set up your folder exactly like this. So everything is neatly organized for you. Now, if you're a bit confused, that's completely fine. I've dropped another video on my channel where I explain this in a little bit more detail, but with a different framework called WAT, Workflows, Agents, and Tools. It's exactly the same as that, just this being Claude references and tools. So yeah, that's the idea here. I'll leave everything in my free school community so you can actually get the Airtable database and the Claude CRT file so you can actually build this system out for yourself. So thank you very much for viewing this video. Got tons of cool stuff coming, so hit that subscribe button, make sure you join my free school community as well, and I'll see you all later.